What up, peeps? KgDrifty is in the building. And in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys some Modern Warfare Warzone tips and strategies. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Now, starting off with the very first tip that I have for you guys, and that is do not get greedy on Warzone. Getting greedy on Warzone is literally the biggest downfall in this game mode, just because there are a lot of people in this game, and on top of that, you never know who is watching you. Everywhere you go, there's someone that's watching you, and that's not even, it could be watching from a distance, from a sniper scope. People can watch you from different buildings and things like that. You have to always be careful on getting loot and just trying to contain yourself from being too greedy. Because I know when you get that kill on a person, or you do a team wipe or anything like that, they end up dropping a large amount of cash, or you get desperate, you want to get some better guns or anything like that. You become desperate. You got to learn how to break that cycle. If for any people who just, once they get the kills right away, they go straight for the loot, you got to break out that habit, just because you never know who's watching you. In Warzone, there's a lot of campers, there's a lot of snipers, and just on top of that, there's a lot of people that use ghosts and other things like that. You cannot heavily rely on getting killed and going straight for the loot. It's just always not a good thing to do, because sometimes when you get too greedy for your own good, you get executed and you get bodied, and trust me, that shit sucks. So I highly recommend do not become greedy in this game mode, because it's just not going to play out for you. Make sure it's clear when you get the kill, watch your surroundings, and then go for the loot. And if you have to, just run away. If it's really not worth it, if you don't need it, don't get it. That's just how it's supposed to be in Warzone. Just like how it is on Blackout, that's exactly how it is on Warzone. Just because, but it's a little bit harder because people have thermal and anything like that. So just contain yourself and don't get loot if you really don't need to. Now, going on with the second tip that I have, and that is staying together with your team. And this is when you're playing quads or trios or anything like that. When you're playing with a group of friends or you're playing with a team, do not separate from your team. You can try to make a regulation rule with your teammates. Try to keep like a specific distance with each other, but I do not recommend going straight out and just automatically going straight in and trying to go for kills or anything like that. Just stay with your team, just because there's a lot of campers in Warzone. A lot of people you can run off by yourself trying to go inside a building or anything like that, you know, and then bam, there's a team up in that building or anything like that. So just make sure you stick with your team. Sticking with your team will come in handy. You'll win a lot of your games, and on top of it, you'll win a lot more of your gunfights. And then on top of that too, when you want to run off by yourself, it will suck, because if you get bodied by an enemy and your teammate can't fucking save you just because you're too far away, and it just leaves you and your team in a fucked up predicament. And on top of that, it's kind of selfish. So just stay with your team, stick together, and I guarantee you're going to get those. You're going to win it, and it will benefit you guys in the long run. I highly recommend doing that. Now, going on with the third and final tip that I have for you guys, and that is do not take risks. I know it can be a little bit hard, and what I mean by taking risks, that means, say for example, if you put up a UAV, right, and then or if you get a contract that requires you to you get the bounty contract, right, and then you're trying to go for that kill, and then you see maybe 2 or 3 people or something like that on the radar, you know, don't take the risk if you really don't need to, because like I said, you'll sometimes in the game you can put yourself in a predicament to where when you're trying to run straight for the kill and go straight for the enemies, then bam, you get sandwiched by another enemy that's coming out the way. Because like I said, you got to look at your surroundings, because people can see no matter what. There's someone that's always watching you in Warzone. That's just how it always going to go. And if another team's seeing you go for another team, you know, and you want to get greedy, or just on top of that, you want to just take the risk and try to take the team out so it can go by faster or anything like that. If you want to do that, you never know if another team just seeing you and catching y'all lacking, and they just going to come in and go for the kill and just body you guys. So always don't take risks. Don't take the risk if you really don't need to. If you have to take the risk to like get into the circle, or you have to take out that team in order for you guys to be in a better spot, go for it. But like I said, just always make sure that you feel like that's the best risk to take, because sometimes the risk that you want to take is the wrong risk, and this is not going to end well for you on Warzone. So always be careful on what you do. If you're trying to kill an enemy and then you see that you guys are in a fucked up predicament, don't go for it. It's simply always good to not go for it. For example, another example I could give for you guys, say for example, if the circle is closing or something, right? Or, you guys are running and then somebody is sniping at you guys. And then, your teammate or you trying to go for that sniper kill from across the map instead of trying to focus on getting to the circle. You want to just get that kill and knock them down. Sometimes it's just best just to go straight for the circle and not even risk getting into that gunfight just because, the storm can gobble you up or somebody can just get, people can play cleanup crew. And that shit sucks, especially when you're in the middle of a gunfight and bam, you get surrounded by another team that hit you from behind. So just make sure that if you are going to take the risk, just make sure it's clear and just make sure you're in a good predicament to do so. But if you don't necessarily have to do it, then do not make unnecessary efforts to get that kill or take that risk because it's just going to suck and you're going to lose and this is not going to benefit the team in the long run. But there you guys have it. Those are my 3 tips that I have that I know so far on Warzone. Actually, before I actually want to end it, a bonus tip. This is actually a bonus tip. This is a key tip that I want to help you guys out with. And for the bonus tip, do not rely on heartbeat sensors and UAVs. Yes, I know sometimes relying on those things can be a little bit tempting when you buy UAV or use a heartbeat. You don't sometimes see some of the enemies on the map. You'll see some people on the radar when you're using UAV, or if you're using a heartbeat sensor, you're running, you don't see somebody on a heartbeat sensor. Or if you do see a dot on a heartbeat sensor, just don't necessarily rely too much on it because you never know when enemies are using ghosts. A person could be camping in a building, you're trying to go, you don't see no one, and then bam, you get hit from behind or somebody's camping upstairs or something like that. So do not rely so heavily on UAVs and heartbeats because, like I said, people can use ghosts and they can slay you and fuck you up in the long run, especially if they're camping or anything like that. If you put up the UAV and you see some people on the dot, always don't take it as a grain of salt because there still could be some people around you that just might be using ghosts. And the same for heartbeat sensor. You put up the heartbeat sensor, you don't see nobody around, or you see that one dot and they're moving away. Who knows if their team is with them behind them and they're using ghosts. So, just always be very, very cautious when you're using UAV and heartbeat just because people can slay you and they can use ghosts and it will just suck and it won't benefit in the long run. So just keep your eyes out. Stay very, not even just consistent. Just keep aware of your surroundings because anything can happen, especially when people are using ghosts. But there you guys have it. Those are my tips for Warzone. I hope these tips helped you guys out. I hope it will benefit you guys to getting way more closer to your dubs. I got way more videos coming soon. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also like this video if you have not already. More great videos is coming soon, and thank you so much for checking this video out. So I'll see you guys in the next one, and I'm out.